Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are going to unpack a seriously chilling and tragic urban legend out of Blackwood town. We're going to be looking closely at a story that completely blends supernatural horror with, well, a pretty heartbreaking romance. It really paints a picture of a town haunted not just by a ghost, but by an unfulfilled promise. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this wild narrative, step by step.
So what actually happens when an unfinished promise traps a soul forever? That is the central question behind this whole mystery. To really understand it, we need to dive into the cursed lore of Platform 6 and look at the modern-day skeptic who actually dared to investigate it. Like, how does a simple vow anchor a soul to the physical world? And what on earth are the consequences for the living who stumble across these restless spirits?
Section 1. The Curse of Platform 6, a Midnight Legend.
Imagine an empty, rain-soaked station. The only sounds you hear are the crack of thunder and the distant, kind of lonely whistle of a train cutting through the cold night. Well, locals believe a dangerous curse awaits literally anyone lingering around after midnight. According to the town's legend, every single year on the exact same date, a mysterious girl in a white dress is seen waiting there entirely alone. And the most terrifying part of the myth? They say anyone who actually follows her into the darkness never, ever returns the same again.
Enter Ethan Carter. Ethan is a 24-year-old photographer from the city, and crucially, he absolutely does not believe in ghosts. He comes to Blackwood town specifically to shoot abandoned places for his online horror blog. When the old station master immediately warns him to stay far away from Platform 6 after midnight, Ethan just smirks. He literally says, "Ghost stories are good for views." He totally dismisses the dire warnings, basically just seeing the supernatural as prime content. Section 2. Meeting the Ghost. The first encounter.
So, Ethan sets up his camera right near the tracks. As the clock strikes exactly 12 a.m., things get weird. The station lights begin to flicker, the temperature suddenly drops, and this freezing wind sweeps right through the empty platform. And then, he sees her. A beautiful girl with long black hair, pale skin, wearing a vintage white dress that is completely soaked in the rain. But here's the thing, she looks distinctly sad, not dangerous at all. When Ethan tentatively asks if she's okay, she softly whispers that her name is Lily, and her eyes are just filled with pain.
But then, Ethan realizes something undeniably impossible. Despite the pouring rain completely covering the platform, Lily leaves absolutely zero footprints behind her. None. At this exact moment, Ethan's hardcore skepticism crashes headfirst into an undeniable supernatural reality. Over the next few nights, a strange and surprisingly deep connection forms. Ethan just keeps returning, and they talk for hours. They talk about life, dreams, loneliness. Lily loves old songs and moonlight, but Ethan starts to notice a pattern. She never comes anywhere near the sunlight, and she always vanishes before 3 a.m. When Ethan finally asks her why she only ever comes to this dark platform, she gets tears in her eyes and reveals her tragic motivation. She says, "I'm waiting for someone, for the boy who promised he would never leave me." She's quite literally trapped in a cycle of waiting.
Section 3. The 1998 Tragedy, Uncovering the Past. Driven by curiosity and, honestly, his growing feelings for Lily, Ethan decides he needs real answers. And man, the truth he uncovers is horrifying. He knows the girl he's been meeting, this beautiful girl who hides from the sun and vanishes before 3 a.m. But digging through the dusty archives at the local library, he finds a 1998 newspaper with a shattering headline. Young couple dies in train accident at Platform 6. The photo right there in the article? It's Lily, looking exactly the same. She hasn't aged a single day. The article claims Lily and her boyfriend Daniel tried to run away together, but Daniel never showed up. Lily waited alone until a train crushed her. The math is completely undeniable here. Lily died almost 3 decades ago.
Ethan rushes back to the station that night to confront her. He literally shows her the newspaper and says, "You're dead." Lily doesn't even try to deny it. Tears roll down her pale cheeks as she admits she just didn't want him to know. Suddenly, the wind begins to howl violently around them, and the lights are flickering crazy fast as she warns Ethan to stop coming to see her. She drops this haunting warning, because the dead are lonely, and lonely souls pull people into darkness. But Ethan does the exact opposite of what you'd expect. He reaches out and grabs her hand. He feels her ice-cold skin, literally the first time anyone has touched her in decades, and he tells her he refuses to be afraid.
Section 4. The Dark Secret Revealed. What really happened to Daniel?
So Ethan goes back to the old station master to get the real story, and the man finally spills the town's suppressed horrifying secret. Let's trace the actual timeline of that night in 1998. Daniel didn't just abandon Lily. He was actually on his way to the station, but the townspeople hated their relationship because Lily was from this wealthy family while Daniel was poor. A group of men intercepted Daniel before he could even reach Platform 6. They murdered him right near the forest. Meanwhile, Lily just waited all night on the platform, completely unaware of the horrific crime happening so close by until the train ultimately took her life.
And this is the real turning point. Ethan finally realizes the true nature of the haunt. He isn't dealing with some malicious monster or a demon trying to consume the living. Lily's ghost is simply a spirit bound entirely by grief and an unfulfilled promise to a boy who was murdered trying to get back to her. She's anchored to the station purely by heartbreak.
Section 5. Breaking the Curse. The Anniversary Storm.
We jump to the 28th anniversary of Lily's death, and a massive supernatural storm rolls into town. Ethan heads to Platform 6 at midnight. Lily is there, but she's flickering like smoke. The curse is getting way stronger. Suddenly, the ground literally trembles. Dark, shadowy figures, the spirits of others who have died near the railway, appear near the tracks, whispering. They want Ethan. Cold, ghostly hands actually reach out and grab his arms. Lily is screaming for him to run, but Ethan straight up refuses to leave her. Then that ghostly train whistle echoes, and a phantom train emerges from the darkness, speeding directly toward the platform. The station violently transforms back into the exact night Lily died, bombarding Ethan's senses with blood, rain, and screams, threatening to consume his soul.
But right in the middle of this absolute chaos, a shadow appears near the forest entrance. It's a young man. It's Daniel's spirit, lost for decades. The terrifying spirits surrounding the station suddenly just stop screaming. Daniel walks slowly toward Lily and whispers the words that instantly bridge a 28-year gap of pain. He says, "I'm sorry I was late." Lily is crying and smiling all at once. For the first time in almost 30 years, she isn't waiting alone anymore.
Lily turns to Ethan one last time, thanking him for loving her when the whole world had just forgotten she existed. As the phantom train roars violently past them, everything suddenly drops into complete, dead silence. A bright white light surrounds the reunited lovers. Slowly, their spirits disappear together into the darkness. The curse is officially broken. They are finally free.
The next morning, the storm has totally cleared. The sun is up, and Platform 6 looks like a completely normal, empty, everyday railway station again. But as Ethan is inspecting the tracks, he finds one single piece of physical evidence left behind from the entire supernatural encounter. An old silver locket. And inside that locket, a photograph of Lily and Daniel smiling together. From that day forward, the ghost girl in the white dress was never seen at Platform 6 again.
So, even though the ghost was never seen again, the story leaves us with this really lingering thought. People say that sometimes, on cold, rainy nights, you can still hear soft laughter echoing through the empty station, as if two lovers finally found peace beyond death. Ultimately, this explainer asks us to consider the incredible, enduring power of devotion. If true love remains unfinished, can the soul ever truly rest? It leaves us all to wonder, what invisible ties keep us anchored to the ones we've lost? Thank you so much for joining me for this. I really hope this immersive journey helped you experience the chilling yet beautifully tragic layers of Blackwood Town's greatest legend. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.